Greetings, Kerbal Killers. Welcome. Has it not been an eventful 24 hours? 1.0 is here. And we're going to take a look at it. Of course we are. Just bear with me. I do, of course, have it unpacked. This is Mud Monday stream on Tuesday. Delayed, of course, because of all the 1.0 hype and the fact that there was like 100 people streaming last night. But on top of that, I was involved in a little bit of a DMP test. So, here we go, our KSP directory. Well, actually, it's all the games, but KSP 1.0. I didn't unpack this one properly. Hang on. There we go, that's better. Right, we're going to go through all the back-end stuff, see what's been added, see what's been changed, and then I'm going to tell you what you can change. Oh yeah. First of all, additional config files, part database and physics CFG. I suggest you don't touch them. Part database gets regenerated every time you start KSP. So editing it, probably not going to help.
Channel switched.
The physics CFG, unless you know all about physics, not going to be a good thing to be changing. But let's take a look. It is, of course, in English. Drag multiplayer, drag cube multiplayer, angular drag multipliers, lift multipliers, so on and so forth. My advice, don't touch it. Leave it alone. Even I would struggle to change it. So, standard directory layout. Let's go into game data, and straight away we notice there is no NASA mission directory. Take a look in the squad directory, and you'll also notice there is no SPP directory. It has all been integrated, it has all been tidied up. Which is exactly what I asked Squad to do. Gotta love it. So, let's go into parts. I know you want to go in there first, so let's go in there first. Looks a bit cleaner. Mark 1 directory is not there anymore, so that's been integrated in there. But the Mark 3's are still there, just for the cockpit. I guess they forgot about that one. Oops. So, first change to note is the engines. Let's go take a look here. We want turbofan. Again, exactly the same layout as what we've seen. So let's take a look here. It's slightly less readable, which is kind of annoying, but oh well. So, let's see. New parameter, COM offset. That is the centre of mass offset. That allows you to change where the centre of mass is within the part. Nice to have, that one is. Let's see. Same. Ah! There's a commented out here. Heat conductivity. Heat conductivity is a part of the game. Basically, it is exactly as it sounds. If a part starts to heat up, it will conduct heat to all connected parts. The rate at which it conducts heat is controlled by that parameter. Emissive content. That would be heat emissions from, in this case, the engines. Drag model type is standard. Standard. Ooh, bulkhead profiles. Interesting. Wait a minute. Where's the attach nodes? Where are the attach nodes? There's no why is there no attach nodes? Oh, there it is. You got it up there. Missed it. Oh well. So, bulkhead profiles. Not got a clue. Oh, yep, I know. That's the size of the green blobbies. Right, job done. Module. Module engines effects. Ooh. I recognise these. That's a load of stuff from Hot Rockets. I recognise those config values. Really? Propellants. Wonderful. Atmo curve. New ones here. Jet parameters. Atmosphere change flow. True. Use velocity curve. True. Use atmo curve. True. Mach limit. Mach heat multiplier. Velocity curves. Ooh. Engines have gotten complicated. Right. This lot here, and further down to here, alters the performance of your engine at different speeds and different altitudes. That one there sets the absolute maximum speed limit for your engine, and then it just cuts out. So no longer can you go atmos skimming at near orbital velocities. Not on a turbofan you can't anyway. Mach heat multiplier. That's what makes your engine go boom when you're trying to go too fast. Velocity curve. Not sure of all the parameters looking at them. And struggling here to see the pattern. One of these is gonna be speed, but I can't quite see which. Well, I know this, the first value, creates the curve, so could that be Mach number? Well, the maximum looks like it's set to cut out. Although, what's that line there? Oh, 5.3, right. And that drops off from there. Interesting. Atmospheric curve. Let's take a look here. This looks a little bit better. First column looks like atmospheric pressure. Second one looks like engine power. Not sure what the other two values are for. I should point out, this is the first time I've seen these configs. Interesting. I would say first column is air density, 1 being full, i.e. on carbon, and the second one would be percentage of engine power, or at least a modifier for it. Module animates heat. Yes, we've had that before. Module gimbal had that before. Module alternator had that before. Resource electric charge. Yep, seen that. Module test subject. I would hazard a guess to say that during career that engine gets tested. I would say that's the module for it. Module surface effects. Ooh. Let's have a look. Just provide a module index. FX max, max distance, fall off, just transform name. I would say that there is some sort of surface effect going on. Could that be heating? Well, you can certainly increase the effects from it. Interesting. Well, I'm sure we'll find out more about this as we look at other config files. So let's see. Effects. Running thrust. Yep, this is definitely the configs for hot rockets. I recognise this without a shadow of a doubt. So, we've already been through the hot rockets configs. So, audio. Yep. Exactly the same. That creates a curve in the audio. And that changes the pitch slightly. Particle prefabs. There's your emissions curve. And there's your output speed curves. Again, more profiles for when it's running, etc. And that's that one. Some interesting stuff gone into the config files. Let's go and take a look at another one. Mark 55. Not come across that engine yet? Don't think I've used it. Let's take a look at the config. Oh, they really need to space these out a bit. Okay, radial liquid engine. Oh, it's the thud. Okay. Right, let's have a look here. Single node attach. Okay, there's your rescale. If you want to make it bigger or smaller. FX exhaust flame. Ooh. Yep. Definitely hot rockets in here. Because of all that. That is definitely hot rockets. And that all is for your effects. Which is your engine exhaust, your flame, the sound, everything. Let's take a look down here. Again, heat conductivity and emissive content. Sorry, constant, not content. Module engines, yep. Yep, that one is pretty much as standard. Gimbal, yep. Test subject. Would we be testing this engine? And again, we have surface effects. Interesting. So that's two types of engines that we've taken a look at, and the configs are quite similar. Iron. Let's go take a look, see what they've done to the iron engine. Okay, standards and rescale factor. Yep. Node stack top, node stack bottom. Yep, wonderful. Here's your attach rules. Looks to be the same syntax as before. Let's take a look. Bulkhead profiles. That's your size, your attach size. Because this is a very small part, size 0. That replaces the extra size at the end, I believe. What would be this one? Why is it still there? Interesting. Let's take a look. No thruster. Yeah, this is pretty much standard. This one is. So, module animate throttle. Yep. And test subject. Do all the engines come with a test button? Curious. But the only atmospheric curve is that one. There is no speed curve on it, which is kind of curious. What else do we have? Let's go right back to parts. We're gonna go command. Let's go Mark 1 pod. DDS files. Let's take a look at the config. Oh, well, this one's a little bit more laid out. So there's your rescale option. If you want to make a Mark 1 bigger. No stack top, no stack bottom. And that, the 7th value, is the size, which is kind of weird. So we've got a COP offset and a COL. Well, the COL is coefficient of lift. So what's the P? Oh, normally I'd know it as performance, but on a Mark 1 pod, how would you measure performance? Just bear with me one moment. Coffee required. Coffee. Okay, where are we up to? COP offset. Gonna have to come back now. Come back to that one. Let's have a look here. Standard, standard, standard. Attach rules. Yep. Mass. Interesting drag values that they've changed. Max temperature has been lowered. Vessel type. Yay, we like vessel types. Crew capacity, internals, electric charge, reaction wheel, and its usage. Oh, science experiments. Crew reports. Oh. Science container, yep. Monoprop, yep. Bug detail. Yep. So, not a huge difference here. It's all sort of mainly that section there that's changed on the pods. Let's go take a look at another one. Pick a good one. Yep, my favourite one is the cupola. Let's take a look, see what they've done to it. Rescale, yep. Tech required. Standard, standard, standard. Oh, vessel type. Wow. They've classed the cupola now as a lander. Really? Okay. Bulkhead profile, yep. That's the internal. Command module. Power. Reaction wheels. Oh, have they nerfed the reaction wheels? I'm sure they were higher than that. Science experiments. That's container. Monoprop flag decals. Not a lot of changes in there. Let's take a look at the Mark III cockpit. Just to see if there's any additional changes we haven't seen yet. Rescale. Yep. Standard. Bulkhead profiles, yep. The internal name. Command module. Power. Reaction wheels. Science experiments container, monoprop, flag details, and interesting. The Mark III cockpit now has lights on it, presumably in the windows. Bet nobody spotted that yet. Some of the command pods, you can turn the lights on, the cockpit lights on and off. Haha, wonderful. And strangely enough, I saw nobody that was streaming the pre-1.0 release showing off the cockpit lights. Oh well. So let's have a look in here. Aero. Now I know there's going to be a ton of changes to Aero. Ooh, aero brakes. Let's see here. Yep, that's all standard. Those three have been commented out. The COM is coefficient of mass offset. COL is coefficient of lift. What is P? Propulsion? No, because that'd be under T for thrust. Anyway. Interesting set of attach rules. Bit light on the mass. Thermal mass modifier. Interesting. Heat conductivity has been reduced. Emissive constant. That's gotta be, now that I've seen a few of them on different parts, that has gotta be the value of how much heat is radiated. Drag model type none. It's an air brake. Why is that set to none? Curious. It must be none when it's in an undeployed state. Drag value is very low. Yep. Explosion potential. Bulkhead profiles is SRF. That'll be surface. Because it's a surface attach only. Here you go. Module. New module here. Use internal drag module. Yep. Model, sorry. Drag coefficient. Deflection left. Okay, yep. Surface range. I'm guessing that's how far it sticks up. Control range. I'm guessing That's the angle it sits up when you select the air brake as a control surface. Surface area, yep. Actuator speed, that's how fast it changes. Transform name, flap, that would be the thing that's in the model. Default action group, that's the one it gets assigned to by default. And lifting surface curve is speed brake. That's a reference internally, I think. At least that's what it looks like. Module. FX module. Look at constraint. Okay. Looks like it's something to do with the model itself. I'm guessing a weird animation. Yep, I would say the piston arm and piston base do something weird when they're being operated. Cool. Now I know how to make my own air brakes. Let's see. Heat shield. Gotta take a look at one of these. Okay, yep. Rescale, make it bigger if you want. COP, COL. Sound vent large. I'd imagine that's when you dump the heat shield. Curious. Let's have a see here. Standard. Yep. Standard. Physics significance. Well, we've seen that before, but that's kind of interesting that it's set to 1. Child stage offset. I was talking to someone about this value over the weekend. I can't remember who it was. That tells it to use a different stage in the VAB. So for those of you that are having trouble with stuff going into the wrong stages, take a look at that value within the configs. If it's not there, it's set to 0, which will be the current stage. Greetings, Parabolic Photon. How are you, sir? So, set to 0 is current stage, set to a positive number increases the number of stages, and set to a negative number is previous stages. Bulkhead profiles we've been through. Thermal mass modifier. Why would that be set so low? Why would the thermal mass be changed so that it is so low? What's the game doing? Let's continue. Module. Module see-through object. What? Module see-through object. Okay, yep. Transform name is fairing. Not quite sure what on earth they're doing with that module. But okay. Module jettison. Yep, you can dump the fairings. Dump the heat shield. Yep. Is fairing. Yeah, effectively that's just saying that these are all similar to the stack separators. So effectively, this module treats your heat shield as a stack separator. Be careful with your staging, otherwise you'll dump your heat shield. Module ablator. This is the fun bit. This module section here contains your ablative physics during re-entry. As you slam into the atmosphere, this module is what prevents it from going boom. So, ablative resource, and that's the resource name, which we've got down here. So, loss exponent, interesting, and loss constant. Why would you have a loss constant? Unless that is... Right, that'll be the constant base value. Has to be. Okay, which is then modified by your speed, air temperature, so on and so forth. Right, yep, okay. Paralysis loss factor. Ooh, they are really going heavy onto the calcs here. Re-entry conductivity, yep. Ablation temperature threshold. Right, okay, so probably those you're probably going to want to completely ignore and leave at whatever the defaults are. They control the internal math that handles how fast the ablative resource is depleted. This one is the actual temperature before it starts to ablate. So maybe some heat shields that might be really expensive might have a higher tolerance before they start to ablate. And then the ablative resource that is contained within the heat shield itself. It's just a standard resource. So, simple enough. It's similar sort of lines to Deadly Re-entry. Very similar. So let's take a look at. Well, let's go for a shuttle wing. Take a look at Delta. Really have moved stuff around. So standard configs. Yep. Thermal mass modifier. Okay. Conductivity. Passive content. Yep. Drag model type again is none. Then drag, max drag. Yep. Temp. Explosion potential. Fuel cross feeds. Bulkhead profiles. That's the model. Module. Module lifting surface. Ooh. Yep. They changed it. Use internal drag model. Yeah, okay. Deflection lift coefficient. Well, that will be... that will be related to the angle of attack, which is this lot. And that... whoops. And those two values there are the... basically the angle of attack drags. So how much drag do the wings give you with certain angles of attack. And here, which is what I mentioned on my very first look into part configs, you can of course add resources to your wings, which on that one is liquid fuel. You can of course change that to anything else, and if you wanted to add another one, say oxidizer, take that entire section, right click on it, copy, go down there like that, go paste, and then change that resource to whatever you want. But just be aware, that will add quite a bit of weight to your wings. Take a shifty at the rudder. Anything special in here? Centre of mass offsets again. Quite a hefty offset on this one. Oh, module control surface. That's a new one. Internal drag model. Yep. Drag coefficients. Deflection lifts. Yep. Control surface range. Some of you may want to change that. Control surface area. Well, you can change that to increase the amount of force your control surface has, but kind of unrealistic. Actuator speed, well, having faster control surfaces would be a good thing. And transform name is that tag within the model itself. Yes, I'm going to call them tags because I can never remember what their true name is. So, call them tags. Everybody knows what a tag is. What else is new that we can take a look at? I know what I want to take a look at. Where is it? Not in there. Is it under utility? Where is it? Yeah, not in there. It'll be in here. Radial drills. Take a look. So, hey up. I know what's coming up here then. Yep, standard. Module. Overheat display. Interesting. Oh. I know what this one is. That's a regolith config. Yep. Straight import. Although there's a few interesting updates. It now calculates heat. He must have updated it. Auto shutdowns. Modifiers. So if you wanted a drill for drilling whatever resource, there's your resource name. Harvester type. 0 is crustodal, i.e. surface. 1 is oceanic, i.e. body of water. 2 is atmospheric. And 3 is in space. Efficiency 1, well, you might as well always leave that at 1. So, them there are just names given to the user interface. That is a tag within the model. Impact range. Wonder if that's to do with the dust and whatnot that's kicked up as you're mining. Yeah, I'd definitely say that's what it is. Auto shutdown. True. Well, that means it automatically turns itself off. Generates heat, yes or no? So I was just watching another chat then, so apologies for that. Temperature modifier, okay. Specialization bonus. Specialist efficiency factor. That's a new module to Regolith. Ah, I know what that is. Possibly, no. I think that's the modifier. I remember something about this. Yes, as the drill bits get hotter, it reduces their throughput. It affects their efficiency. So that's your control values for it. Default shutoff temp. That's a very weird figure for it. And specialty engineer. Well, that's definitely the temperature modifiers. Specialty engineer. Ah, I know what this section is. That's to do with all the efficiency stuff that was built into MKS and OKS. Yes, that's all the modifiers. So all the efficiency stuff with that is now built into KSP. That's going to be fun. So input resources, that would be how much electricity it takes to run it per second. Next one, asteroid drill. What was this one? Resource harvester and asteroid drill. Wahey! Asteroid drilling is stock. Excellent. Direct attach false, so it doesn't clamp to the asteroid. Okay. Start action name, that's for the graphical interface. Power consumption. That's a different way of doing it, but okay. So that would be how much power it uses per second to drill. Efficiency. Why would that be set to 10? I guess it's to dial up how fast it collects the resources from the asteroid. Yep, impact range we've already been through. Specialization bonus. That would be the bonus from having a specialized Kerbal on board. Auto shutdown generates heat. Yeah, they're all as above, and that one. And that's your speciality for that one. And that's the bonus that goes with it. And that is to do with model animation. So, we're getting there. I see how this lot is built now. So, how would you go about modifying it for your own resource? Take that section there, copy it, and change that. No, change that name there to your resource. Hey presto. Although the interesting thing is, I'm guessing the asteroids are forcibly set to ore. Or should I say hard-coded to ore. That's a shame. I was really hoping that you could put your own random resources inside asteroids. Golly gosh darn it. That's disappointing. Let's take a look at a refinery. Standard. Heat overlay, yep. Module, resource converter. Liquid fuel plus oxidizer, yep, that's just GUI names. Auto shutdown, yep, we've seen that bit before. Input resource, now this is your recipe. So, input resource, it needs ore, and it needs electric charge, and it gives you liquid fuel and oxidizer as an output. Wonderful. There's another converter module here. This one's called monoprop. So that's a graphical name again. Seeing that bit. This one is input of ore and electric charge and gives you monoprop. Okay, here's another one. This one's just for liquid fuel. So ore, electric charge, fuel. Okay. And I'm guessing by the name, this one's just for oxidizer. Correct. And that is the model animation. So, you can make your own converters for ore to whatever, or from any resource to whatever. Just change that. Change that. You can have as many input resources as you want, as many output resources as you want. So those that wanted to make a easier part can always have monoprop here in the output as well as liquid fuel and oxidizer. And of course you're not just limited to fuels resources. When hopefully shortly when TAC Life Support comes out, you can make your own converters to, let's say, liquid waste back to water, and maybe do something with the solid waste. What else do we have here? Scanners. I want to know what's in the scanners. Let's take a look in here. Surface scanners, pretty much as standard. Module GPS, curious. I believe that was a mod. I'm guessing that is so that it knows where it is on the planet. That would seem logical. Let's see. Module resource scanner. Okay, scanner type. Been through this before. Type 0 is crustodal, i.e. on the ground. Type 1 is oceanic, i.e. in a body of water. Type 2 is atmospheric, and type 3 is in space. Resource name, so it's looking for ore on the surface. And it wants you at a maximum of 1 kilometer. I'm guessing that is a surface attached one for a local area, small area. So basically, that one would be attached to your rover, drilling rover. Requires unlock false. Yep, okay. Got a biome scanner on board. I would say that's for analysing asteroids. And same goes with that one. Wonderful. Let's have a look at another scanner. Surface scanner, this is the survey scanner. Let's take a shifty here. Pretty much as standard. Module orbital survey. Scan time 5. I assume that's the length of time it takes to scan, but 5? Seconds? That can't be right. Yep, I have to play the game and find out how long that actually is. Psi bonus? I assume that's science that it gives you for doing it. Module orbital scanner. Check for lock is true. Well, other than the obvious that it's scanning from orbit, there's not a lot that can be seen from that. Weird. And module animate, which we've gone through 1,000 times. That's weird. I have to see what that is in the game. I'm gonna play it later on. I'm gonna play it properly later on, I should say. Let's see. Orbital scanner. We're gonna take a look at that. I'm very curious about this because my CW Tech mod pack I'm creating for the DMP needs a major overhaul now. Standard. Module GPS, seen that before. We think we know what that does. We'll find out in a bit. Module resource scanner, here we go. Maximum abundance altitude is 500 kilometers. That seems more like it. Requires unlock. I assume you have to open up the scanner first, i.e. deploy the scanner before you can actually scan, which I'm guessing that's what that lot does. Scanner type is 0, which means it's crustodal, and it's only going to scan for ore. Right, fine, okay. Module name, high definition camera. Wonderful! Not got a clue what that does. That's helpful, thank you, squad. It's probably some sort of weird name that's built into... that's now built into KSP. I have high definition cameras in KSP. Okay, we're going to have Kerbals slacking off and posing. Never get anything done in the hangar now. Let's take a look at tanks. Standard. Resource. Oh, yes. Fuel jettison module. Finally! Please tell me there's a fuel dump option! Then I won't need to use TAC fuel balancer all the time. Oh, that would be wonderful. I wonder if the standard tanks have that in. If not, they're gonna get added. Ah, wonderful. Thank you, Parabolic Photon. Oh, and quite a bit behind as well. But anyway. What else have we got? Done the drills. That's the tank. Fuel cells, I'm pretty sure how this is going to work. But let's take a look. Standard. Here we go. Module resource converter. Yep, we've seen that. That's GUI. Fill amount. Weird. Would that be only filled to 95%? Seems like it. Auto shutdown. Yeah, we've been through this. So input resource. Yep. Input resource. Yep. And that's the output. Yep. Pretty sure I knew how that was going to work. And it has some electric storage on board. So let's go back here. So let's come out the parts directory. Resources. Interesting, a lot more resources in here. Ore.config, I know exactly what's going to be in this. Yep. This is the config that controls regolith. This is a regolith config. I recognise the syntax. So, global resource. This sets the entire resource throughout the entire Kerbal system. Resource name is ore. Resource type 0. Been through several times. 0 is crustodal. And that is your distribution values. So percentage chance 100 means it's always there. Minimum abundance is 1, max abundance 15. The variance is how quickly it varies between 1 and min and max abundance, and dispersal is a brand new config value. That would be the distance between the variances, I would imagine. Now, planetary resource. You can have a separate config for specific planets. In this particular case, we have the resource of ore, crustodal. So they've put a specific definition in for the sun, even though you can't get close enough to the sun to even scan it. Okay, yeah. And that just basically zeroes it anyway. This one is for Joule, which you really can't scan anyway. Oh, they zeroed it. Right, fine. Eve, the Explodium Sea, is zeroed. Okay, fair enough. Oh, that's a biome resource. New config value. That's where the list of biomes come in. If you scroll down my page, there is a link to the KSP wikis, which tells you which lists all the biomes on all the planets. That's why that link is there. Okay, another biome resource. Ore. On Kerbin in the water, so it zeroes it in the water. Okay. And on Lathe in the sea, zeroes it there. Yep. Okay. And the Crescent Bay on Lathe also zeroes it. Wonderful. If you were running tech life support, then Lathe and Kerbin would have oxygen in the atmosphere. So you could change that to oxygen, resource type change to 2, planet name Lathe, get rid of the biome name, you'd have planetary resource there, not biome, and have quite low distribution values because it's a gas. Water done by biome. You've got the biomes here. So resource name water, resource type 1 because it's a liquid. Planet name Lathe or Kerbin. Biome name, that's the biome name of the ocean on one of the oceans on Lathe. And distribution, oh, go for it. Yes, you can do interplanetary resources, but I've had a load of trouble with them. Basically, it's resource type 3. But there's additional config values in there. Go take a look at the carbonite for it. Oh, for God's sake. Anyway, overlay. What does this do? Ooh. There must be an overlay map built into KSP 1.0. That's going to make ScanSat interesting. I wonder what they're going to do for that. They must be able to hook into it somewhere. Oops. Let's see if we can figure this out. Bear with me. Oh, okay. My advice, don't touch this one. This is basically the configuration for your overlay map. And basically its aesthetics and how it looks. So we're going to ignore that. Resource defaults. Heat enabled, yep. We've been through this one before, which previously only had that in it. Interesting. Some interesting changes there between lines, dots and solids. Solid would obviously be some sort of fill. Not a lot can be changed in there, and I suspect there'll be a menu option for it. Resources generic, what's defined? Liquid fuel, oxidizer, solid fuel for SRBs, monoprop, xeon, electric charge, intake air, EVA propellant, ore and ablator. If you wanted to create your own resource, you have to add it in here. So you copy that section there, you give it a unique name, make sure it is unique. If it conflicts with another mod and you install that mod, you will have a load of trouble. Density, that is the density per unit. Please note they do change. Setting a higher number here means that it's going to be heavier. HSP, is to do with heat. It's the it's to do with the heat density calculations, thermal mass and stuff like that. So basically, the heavier your resource is, the higher that value should be. Flow mode, well, all of vessel, no flow, stage priorities, and they're the main one. Oh, stage and stack priority. Now, cool. So, no flow is basically it doesn't flow around your ship, just takes it from the tank it's connected to. All of vessel takes from all the tanks on the vessel equally. Stage priority flow and stack priority flow are the KSP's own internal algorithms. So stack priority is the current stack that it's in without spreading out to radial attachments. I think it's this way around. And stage priority flow is the current stage first before it goes through like docking ports and decouplers and whatnot. Those that are enabled to do it anyway. Unless of course they've changed that, which is entirely possible. Is tweakable. If it is set to true, then in the VAB you can change the amounts that are contained. If it's set to false, it'll be hidden. Unit cost is how much it costs in single player to buy each unit. Transfer, you've either got none or pump. None basically means you won't be able to move it from which part it's currently on, and if you've got pump, it means you can transfer it from one tank to another. Colour, that would most likely be for the map overlay, so that you can assign a colour to each resource. Science defs hasn't changed, I know that much. Story defs is basically for all the messages that you get when doing science experiments, so we can ignore that. Tech tree. I know the tech tree has changed. So this lot sets up the nodes within the tech tree, and that looks like where it's actually drawn within the tech tree frame, basically. Yep, so these define each of the levels as we're going through. So you've got parent ID start, which links to your starting node, which is already unlocked. Line from the right hand side of this icon for start, going into the left hand side of this icon. Wonderful. Same goes for here, same goes for here. Are they all going to be right to left? Oh wait, 2 lines on that one. Ah, so that's how you do that bit. So this config file is showing you how is basically building the tech tree visually. And this is the cost. That would be the cost in science, I believe. Take a look, 15, 5, yep, that's going to be the cost in science. So if you want to make it harder for yourself, add a 0 to them. So these here are the icon names, which would most likely point to some sort of image file, probably a PNG, I would have thought. Scale, that changes the size of it, and that creates the position in 3 dimensions. Are they all -1 at the end? Yes, so it picks it up slightly and gives it a 3D effect. Okay. Interesting value there. Hide the icon or the node if it is empty. Interesting. I'm guessing this has all been laid out here for tech tree mods, which means Adios might take some time to rewrite for 1.0. Oh well. Yeah, pretty much know how that's built. That's probably the easiest way they could have done it. I like that, squad. Nicely done. What else do we have? That's resources done with. What do we got? Take a look. Agencies. Well, these DDS files are for the DDS loader that is now built into 1.0, which we like. Agents config. DDS files are graphics files, by the way. However, they are converted graphics files, so you can't directly edit them. So, I'm going to look at the agencies. That's pretty much the exact same config file as 0.9. Can't immediately see anything that's changed. Contracts. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that is going to be the same as well. Yep, pretty much the same. Haven't seen anything that's completely different. There's new contracts in here, of course, but basically your contracts come like this in the config files. So you can write your own configs, contracts in the config. Interesting. That is very, very complicated, but I like it. Some of you that have been doing the career mode might actually recognise the titles of some of these. So, if you ever get a stuck contract, you can either use the F12 menu, or you can go in and edit it now. I don't do career, so it all looks pretty much self-explanatory. Chance is obviously percentage chance that it's going to come up. I'm guessing these names are going to come up somewhere else as well in the configurations. Contracts. Icons, yep. All of the textures are now in DDS format. That's going to be fun. That means it's not quite so easy to change textures now. Joy. Thanks, squad. Oh well, I'll find a converter to convert the DDS textures back again. There'll be one somewhere. Experience. Excuse me. Yep, those are the 4 different types of Kerbals. You can have multiple effects. That means you could have your own custom experience trait assigned to Kerbals. So you could have, for example, experience trait, name, God, title, well, God, description, all-knowing, all-seeing and all-powerful. And then you can have effects, autopilot skill, and copy that and have effect, repair skill, and effect, all 3 of them, and well, there is none for tourism, so you could have a Kerbal with a trait of all of them. Now that gives me a few ideas. Let's see, what else can we see in here? Flags. Yeah, they're standard PNGs. Thank God for that. Ha ha ha. Ah, brilliant. UK Space Agency. Yeah. Might have to go change my flag. Anyway, let's have a look. FX. Yep. That's where all your engine effects come out. All the smoke effects, etc. They're all in here. Except you now can't edit them because they are DDS files. Part list. here's a load of icons for you. And they're all in PNG files, which means you can create your own. So in the custom part list menu, these are all the icons. So you can make your own icons. Parts we've been through. Props. Yep, been through that. That's all your cockpit props. Moving levers, pushing buttons, screens, things like that. Resources we've been through. Sounds. Yep, that's all your sound effects. And it's in OGG and WAV format. So you can definitely change a lot of the sounds. You can change your rocket sounds to nacelle warp sounds from Star Trek. If you wanted to, that is. Spaces, yep. They will be all your IVA cockpit views. Been through them before, and not a lot's changed with them. Strategies, well, that's in career mode. Take a quick shufty. Yeah, nothing's changed in here. Pretty much the same. Custom. Oh, there's two test departments. Whoops. I guess they left them in there. Oh dear. Oh, strategies. Let's have a look in strategies custom. Testing custom strategy. Whoops. Oh, squad, you left the test stuff behind. Oh dear. Test strategy 1. Oh, whoops. What were you doing? That's not there. Yeah. Some icon URL. Oh, squad. Oh, that's, yeah. Pretty much self-explanatory. Yeah. Appreciation. Super glue required. Appreciation campaigns. Yep, that's all the values for the different campaigns that are stored in here. Those that know more about the career mode than I do and the campaigns will know what all these values tie up to. They should be pretty much self-explanatory. Currency converters. Money to rep. Right, I see. So you could create your own converter, I suppose. Theoretically, you could do money to science, so you could buy the science. Or rep to science. You know, science to rep conversion. So there's no reason why that couldn't be reversed. But the input is reputation and the output is science. You know, I just realised I'm telling a lot of people how they can cheat here. Yeah, it's pretty much the same all the way down. Wonderful. The icons for it are in PNG. Excuse me. Oh, simple enough. Nothing else in game data. Might as well remove that, there's nothing in there. KSP data, yep, that's pretty much the same, all the asset files. That's where your launcher is. Yeah, that's an empty directory, that's now empty. That's where your saved games go. Stock ships, remind me to delete them. Ooh, at thumbs. We have thumbnails that are generated. Ooh. And they're in PNG, which means you can pull them out of there and you can share them with friends. You can actually post these PNGs onto the KSP forums. You can upload them to your photo bucket accounts, so on and so forth. Sounds directory is empty. Yep, as expected. Oh good lord, who's setting fire to what now? Is my OBS actually picking that up? Don't know. So, there's a rip apart of KSP 1.0. My apologies if you hear the high-pitched beeping in the background. Somebody is burning water again. So, that's 1 hour 30 going through it. That's not too bad. Quite a few new things, mainly to do with thermal and atmospheric stuff. Didn't see anywhere where you could actually alter Kerbin's atmospheric density, which means it's going to be hard-coded again. Or still hard-coded, which is kind of a shame. So pretty much everything is standard for parts. Thermal mass of parts, which is going to be a funky one for people to get their heads around. Mining, well, uses regolith, so it's not that hard. Looking forward to sort of MKS, OKS dropping that on, which will be later on tonight. Hopefully doing quite a bit of DMP tonight, if I can get hold of certain people to get a new mod pack together for 1.0. Any questions from anybody watching the stream? I think I've been through pretty much everything that I can see in KSP. Feel free to chuck up a few questions. Yep, definitely. Parabolic photon. That's one of the things I usually do on Mod Mondays / Kerbal Wednesdays. Is I'll basically take a look at Mod Mondays is usually modification, which could include anything from editing a config file yourself and how to do it, all the way up to changing how another mod changes the game. So basically modding the mods. On Wednesdays, Kerbal Wednesdays is changing the Kerbal itself. So doing things like changing what planet orbits what and how it orbits. So, for example, putting Minmus in a highly eccentric orbit around the Mun and making the Mun do a polar orbit around Kerbin. Maybe even moving Kerbin so that it orbits Jool. Stuff like that. Or making planets orbit the wrong way around. Just to be really awkward. So that type of thing alters the Kerbal. So anything that alters the Kerbal is covered on Wednesdays. Yeah. Always love reversing orbits. But now with 1.0 released, I can go heavily and seriously into getting the DMP mod pack up and working. And then hopefully get a team of experienced KSPers and a few sort of reasonably experienced together to do a lot of multiplayer streaming. But I will be making the Kerbal a complete and utter nightmare for them. For us, I should say. So, if there's no other questions, I'm going to end the stream there. I need to go and find out who's burning what. So, if you've got specific questions, feel free to PM me on Twitch. I will always respond to them, unless the message is not worth responding to. But that will be, shall we say, abusive message. So, probably later on tonight, I will probably be streaming multiplayer KSP 1.0, which is going to be interesting because nobody's doing it yet. So that's all from me. I will see you again somewhere in the Kerbal. Bye for now.